Hello, good morning students. Welcome back to my channel Molecular Mysteries. In the last class we have covered about the structure of kidney and how what is the location of kidney and why that particular right kidney is located in the lower position than the left because of the presence of the liver and the organs surrounding it, right? So now in this class it's being an important class because we are going to learn how the urine is formed. As you have already gone through the thumbnail, it says how the urine is formed in the kidney, like how are they able to filter the body fluids and excrete out the nitrogenous waste from the body. Okay, so let's see. This class is a little more discussion about the nephron, because nephron is considered to be the structural and the functional unit of kidney. You have millions and millions of nephrons per kidney individual. Okay, so how does that particular renal fluid or whatever you call the primary urine is formed, and how does it pass through the loop of Henle in the nephron? Let's see in this class. Because you are already aware of the structure of nephron, I am also giving you the video regarding it. So okay, what are the positions of it and how does the urine passes through it, and how does the diffusion happens between the interstitial fluid and the lumen of your convoluted tubes. Okay, so without any further confusion, let's get into the class. And please remember, this class is about that particular diffusion and all. In the coming class I'll also tell about the urine analysis and what is the percentage of urine should be present, like what are the creatinine present, how much amount of salts should be present, and for example how much amount of other important proteins should be present in the urine analysis is one helpful for many people out there. Okay, so without any further delay, let's get into the class. Yes, so these are the pair of kidneys that we have. Okay, and for your structure, for your understanding, I'm just giving you this is how it looks like. Okay, this is the ureter and you have the urinary bladder at the down. Okay, now location you already know, right? It's present at the backside of your abdomen, and here see, if you can observe it clearly, you have arteries and veins passing through it because supply of blood is should happen to all the organs. So I have already gone through the adrenal glands present, so go through the link that I have described in the description for adrenal glands and what are the important hormones produced by the adrenal glands, because those are present on the top of each kidney. Okay, so this is how it looks like in general. I'm not getting into deeper in this slide. Next, go through it. Okay, and yes, these are the parts for your understanding. These are the pair of adrenal glands. I told you these are bean shaped kidneys. You have ureter that is coming out of your pelvis. Okay, and you have your bladder, and bladder ending into your urinary bladder, right? That is a bladder where it collects the urine and it passes through out for excretion of your nitrogenous waste, right? So let's go for the further classes. Yes, this is considered to be the important point. See, I'm just giving you the longitudinal section of your kidney, because when kidney is made into cut, you can see millions of nephrons in it, and this is how the nephron looks like. See, these are all the nephron. These are the arteries and veins. If you can observe it, the arteries are red in color, which supply the blood to the kidney. At the same time, the renal veins are blue in color, which collects. Right. So these are all the arteries and veins that are spread all over the nephrons. Right, these are we have as we have already gone through the structure in the previous class itself, how the pyramids are renal pyramids are formed and how many nephrons are there, right? So for each and every nephron there would be a supply of your arteries and veins for your filtration of your blood, right? So this is how it looks like. These are all the arteries and these are all veins. So I'm just giving you a brief idea how nephron is like a cluster of capillaries, cluster of veins all together molded, right? It's very complicated. Like if you can observe one nephron, you can't even understand what arteries are and what veins are. That is how complicated it is. Okay, see, please go through it. This is the Bowman's capsule, which is the primary role for your formation of your primary urine. Okay, so I will tell you what is Bowman's capsule is and what is lumen of it. See, yeah, this is the wonderful diagram I want to show you. See, I told you these are all the calyxes and we have pyramids in it, and we each are all have the nephrons in it, right? See, what happens is this is the renal artery, and these are the renal artery and these are the renal veins. So when the blood passes through the kidney, it has to enter each and every pyramid, and it has to enter each and every nephron, calyx and all. right? So when it passes through it, you have your Bowman's capsule. This is the Bowman's capsule, or I can say it is the main part of your nephron. Nephron starts with the Bowman's capsule and ends with the collecting tubule from where the urine comes out. So each and every nephron has to, like, blood has to pass each and every nephron. Just imagine how mechanized the whole project is, like how wonderfully they have explained you, wonderfully they have given you that the glomerulus, this is called the Bowman's capsule. Okay, it is like a capsule like structure where you have glomerular capillaries in it. They are very thin capillaries, okay, from which the blood has to pass. So you have two different type of vessels called afferent vessel and efferent vessel. Okay, with the one that is going into the Bowman's capsule and one that is coming out of your Bowman's capsule. The one that is going inside has a wider lumen and has a wider diameter. So when the blood passes through that Bowman's capsule, when it is coming out, what happens is they have to come out through a very thin diameter efferent vessel. Okay, don't get confused. The one that is going into the Bowman's capsule is efferent, AFF, and that is coming out is EFF, efferent and efferent. So what happens is, due to the difference in the diameter of your capillaries in the Bowman's capsule, there will be a blood pressure increase in the capillaries. In the glomerular capillaries, you have increase in your blood pressure, increase in your blood pressure. So that is why what happens, there will be absorption of your dissolved salts present in the blood. So what happens, this is the lumen, I can say. So this is the capsule and this is the lumen from which the proximal tube starts. So if you can observe, this is the lumen. So it has to enter into it. So what happens, all the particular filtrate that is coming out from the Bowman's capsule is called the renal fluid or primary urine. See, this primary urine does not it not only contains the amino acids, glucose, salts, sodium, potassium, chloride ions, and nitrogenous waste like ammonia, everything, uric acid, creatinine, everything is present in the primary filtrate. And this primary filtrate is hypotonic. Please remember, it's hypotonic, means it is not, it is hypotonic to the urine that we pass generally. The urine that is coming out from our body is hypertonic, it is more concentrated. So when the nephron first release fluid from the Woman's capsule is hypotonic, please remember, that is called the renal fluid that comes out of your Bowman's capsule. So if you want to observe the structure of your nephron, here comes the structure. See, this is how the nephron looks like. This is the capsule I am talking about. This is the proximal convoluted tube. Yes, this is what I am actually waiting for. Okay. See, this is the Bowman's capsule and from which the proximal tube arises. This proximal tube has got many bendings and it has to pass through this loop of Henle and enter into your convoluted tubes, finally into your collecting tubules. So these are nephrons that are situated in the cortex. So this particular whole part, this upper part of your nephron resides in the cortex of your kidney, and this lower part of your nephron called the loop of Henle, which plays a major role for your hypotonic solution becoming into hypertonic. So because this medulla, as there is a difference in the diffusion process, as there is a difference in the concentration of sodium ions in the interstitial fluid and in the lumen of your loop of Henle, this is where the hypotonic urine is converted into hypertonic urine. Okay, see, and thus this is all situated into your medulla part of your kidney, this particular loop of Henle, and this particular Bowman's capsule along with the whole efferent and efferent are present at the cortex part of your kidney. Okay, so when this is how it looks like. I just wanted to give you the names of your structure of nephron, then I will tell you how the primary urine, how the final hypertonic is made. Okay, see, this is how it looks like. This is the Bowman's capsule. But immediately after coming out of the Bowman's capsule, you have the proximal tube. This proximal tube goes into the loop of Henle, and this loop of Henle has got the descending limb and the ascending limb. Okay, because why I have given you both, because there is a change in concentration both in lower, I mean descending loop of Henle and the ascending limb of your hypotonic urine. Okay, and now finally it enters into your distal convoluted tubule, finally into your collecting tubule. This connecting tubule finally enters into your pelvis. So all the nephrons, all the collecting tubules of each and every nephron, for that matter 20 those million nephrons, open that particular collecting tubule into your pelvis. Finally the whole flush of that pelvis will be covered and finally come out of your kidney through urethra. So this is how the whole mechanized thing happens. Okay, now let's see what is how the primary urine is in short. I'm not dragging the class, but I just wanted to give you the concentrations of your sodium and ions. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, now let's see. This is the important and the important part. So I told you the fluid that is immediately after released from your capsule is called the glomerular filtrate or primary urine or renal fluid. It is containing all the amino acids, glucose, salts, sodium ions, potassium ions, for that matter, even creatinine, nitrogenous, nothing. It's just but hypotonic urine. Okay. Once it enters into the proximal convoluted tubule, what happens is there would be an absorption of water happening. Here, see, that what is called as selective reabsorption. The term which suits this particular thing is selective reabsorption. Once it has gone through the from your lumen of your Bowman's capsule into the proximal convoluted tube, what happens is there will be a maximum reabsorption of water. That means all the amino acids, all the glucose, sodium, potassium ions, all the things are reabsorbed into your blood. And so what happens in the proximal convoluted tubule, the hypotonic becomes the isotonic. Isotonic is very normal, which is it is not much concentrated, at the same time not much diluted. It's a isotonic in proximal convoluted tubule. So now what happens when this proximal convoluted fluid passes from the renal fluid passes from the proximal into the loop of Henle, here changes happen. In this descending loop, what happens is there the sodium ions again 10% of your water reabsorption happens in loop of Henle. At the same time, there will be movement of sodium ions from the lumen of your renal fluid or of lumen of your loop of Henle into the interstitial fluid, and thus the concentration of your urine or the renal fluid would become higher, and thus the descending limb, this is called the descending limb, right? This descending limb has the hypotonic part, hypertonic, sorry, not hypertonic. Okay, this has the highest concentration of urine in the loop of Henle. When it goes down and it starts coming out through the ascending limb of your loop of Henle, and there exchange of water again happens. And here one more thing, this particular ascending loop is impermeable to water. Okay, and thus the sodium ions would even move from the tubule into the intestinal fluid, thus making this particular renal fluid into again hypotonic, because it is in hypertonic in descending, and now it becomes hypotonic movement of your sodium ions. After moving, it enters into the distal convoluted tubule, and finally when they come out of the distal convoluted tubule, there would be reabsorption of water again, which is making it more and more concentrated. Thus, how by the time it reaches the collecting tubule, you have the urine which is hypertonic, which is devoid of all the nutrients, and it is only having the most concentrated nitrogenous, ammonia, and uric acid wastes. Okay, this is how you can understand. This is the movement of your urine. That is how I have given you the arrows. I'm also attaching the important things in the description. Please go through it. And whatever the doubt that you have, please let me know in the discussion. Okay. This is how the urine passes round and enters into a collecting tubule. This collecting tubule would finally enter into your pelvis, as I told you. So, and one more thing here, yeah, for your understanding that I have given you. Okay. So, this is how the movement of urine happens, and this is how. So the creatinine, yes, I want to talk about this creatinine. So in recent tests we have also gone through that the creatinine is a protein that has to be absorbed by the kidneys very well, right? So if a person is having a higher creatinine level in the blood, it says that the kidneys are not functioning that well, because kidneys, if they function well, creatinine is mostly absorbed by the body itself. If it is not absorbed by the body very well, it says that remain in the blood itself. That's how it is showing in the results, right? So the kidneys functioning rate, or it also called as glomerular functioning rate, GFR. GFR is a term that tells you how far the kidneys are working well in your body. GFR and the serum creatinine will tell you how far the kidneys are working for you, and what is the level, and what is the main, how can you maintain it. So in the next class I will tell you how to maintain the creatinine levels, like how to make your body hydrated. Then only the whole creatinine gets absorbed, because it's a protein, and all you need is drinking more and more water becomes make the urine hypotonic. If you it is hypertonic, you will release more and more protein outside. Okay, so in the coming class I will talk about the urine analysis, and also the salts, creatinine especially. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.